Welcome to the second video. In this video, we have another optimization problem that is very different than the first kind of optimization problem we did. So we're going to test how well you learned concepts in that first problem and see if you can try this second problem on your own, applying the concepts you learned in a new way. So let's read it together and I'll get you started, and then I want you to pause the video and try to finish it on your own. So we've got the product of two positive numbers is 288. Find the two numbers so that the sum of twice the first plus the second is as small as possible. So let's start writing some things out. So first we have the product of two positive numbers is 288. Let's use A and B. Why not? So the product of those two positive numbers should be 288. Oh, 28. Second, we want the sum of twice the first plus the second to be as small as possible. So let's just pick a letter. Let's say that's C. You can pick whatever letter you want. And we want to minimize C. I want it to be as small as possible. So that means this is what I'm going to take the derivative of. You always take the derivative of what you're minimizing or maximizing. So I'm going to take the derivative of this equation. So here's your first hint for you to try this on your own. Remember, you should only have one variable on each side before you take the derivative. So try that out, and then once you take the derivative, you can take your number line, check it, make sure it's a minimum, and then you've got your answers. So I want you to pause the video, try this problem out on your own, and then come back and see how you did. Welcome back. Let's see how you did. Now, this may look like a lot of writing, but don't freak out. I just did it the two different ways you could. So if you look in this first one, in this one, I solved for B and plugged in B. In this second half, I solved, I solved for A and plugged in A. So whichever one you solve for, if you solve for B or you solve for A, just focus on that half of the screen. But you'll notice we ended up at the same answers. A equals 12, B equals 24. So whatever path you take, you'll end up with the same answer. I just wrote them both down so that you can check if you got it wrong. So if you did not get 12 and 24, I would pause the video now, follow whichever path you took, and figure out where you went wrong, either on your number line or on your derivative or any of that. Now, one other thing I did want to mention about this particular problem is the importance of this right here. Two positive numbers. So if you look right here at my number line, I ended it at 0 because I know that my answers cannot be 0 or negative, because 0 is not considered positive, and of course negative is not considered positive. So when I took my square root here on both sides, I only took the positive of the square root because that's what it says in the problem. So for my number line, I specifically only included the positive parts of the number line. That'll be important for the problem we do in the next lesson. But that is all for today. You should be able to get started on your homework.